Minister dismisses Abuja suicide bombing report. In business, fresh $24 billion borrowing may balloon Nigerians' debt to 183 trillion naira. And on the foreign scene, Trump says Golden Dome free from Canada if it is joined U.S. In sport, participants stranded as Ogun athletes protest unpaid allowances in Gateway Games. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime and Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Godwin Sunday. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcasts. To the news. President Bola Tinubu has called on leaders of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, to match bold policy declaration with decisive implementation, stressing that the regional bloc must begin delivering tangible results, especially for youth and women who form the majority of its population. Speaking in Lagos on Wednesday at the 50th anniversary celebration of ECOWAS, President Bola Tinubu, who currently chairs the authority of ECOWAS heads of state and government, acknowledged the organization's historic achievements in regional integration, trade liberation, peacekeeping, and democratic governance. However, he asserted that the next chapter must be defined by action, not promises. The Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has dismissed report of suicide bombing in respect of Monday's explosion around the Yanya axis. Speaking during a project inspection today in Abuja, Wike says the victim had ignorantly carried an explosive material from a quarry site which exploded on him. The Federal Capital Territory Command of the Nigerian Civil Defense Corps has sealed 7 private security companies operating unlawfully within the territory. The operation conducted forms part of a wider enforcement initiative aimed at ensuring compliance with national security regulations. The FCT Commandant of the NSCDC, Dr. Olushola Odumosu, who led the enforcement team, says 6 of the 7 companies had no operational licenses, while the 7th was operating with an expired license. The theater commander of Operation Hadi Kai, Major General Abdusalam Abubakar, has revealed that foreign mercenaries infiltrating the northeast region have intensified the threat posed by terrorist groups such as the Islamic State of West African Province and Boko Haram. Speaking in Maiduguri, Major General Abubakar explained that the involvement of these mercenaries has enabled terrorist groups to adopt more sophisticated tactics, including the use of drones for surveillance and attacks, the manufacturing of advanced improvised explosive devices, and the setting of traps targeting military personnel. He also called for an urgent and coordinated response, emphasizing the need for intensified intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance efforts, as well as strengthened cooperation between Nigerian and neighboring countries to disrupt cross-border support networks. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia has announced the sighting of the crescent moon marking the start of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th and final month of the Islamic lunar calendar. According to the announcement shared on X by Aramen Sharifan, Dhul Hajji 1446 will commence today, May 28, 2025. The post highlighted key dates for the upcoming Islamic observance, first day of Dhul Hijjah, Wednesday 28, 2025, the day of Arafah, Thursday 5th June 2025, day of Eid al-Adha, Friday 6th of June 2025. The House of Representatives has called for a thorough investigation into alleged unethical practices in the disbursement of student loans under the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, NELFUN, amid growing concern over transparency, mismanagement, and violations of the Student Loan Access to Higher Education Act 2024. The motion raised by Honorable Aliyu Abdullahi Mustafa on the floor of the House during plenary in Abuja drew attention to alarming reports from the National Orientation Agency, NOA, and the Federal Ministry of Education, which suggests collusion between some tertiary institutions and financial institutions to delay or divert student loans intended to provide equitable and interest-free access to higher education. Mustafa noted that the Student Loan Act 2024 was enacted to ensure timely and transparent access to interest-free loans for all Nigerian students pursuing higher education. Meanwhile, legislative lawyers under the aegis of Association of Legislative Drafting and Advocacy Practitioners, ALDRAP, have commenced move to compel Nigerian senators to refund part of their salaries and allowances collected since 2023 over alleged poor performance. A set of 40 senators are equally being asked to make total refund of salaries and allowances received during the period for concurrently holding membership of the Nigerian Senate and the ECOWAS and Pan-African Parliament in violation of Nigerian laws. The legislative lawyer who have approached the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Tribunal as consumers dissatisfied with the services received from the senators have forwarded a pre-action notice to the Senate through the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio. In the meantime, as children in Nigeria join the rest of the world to celebrate this year's International Children's Day, Nigerian children have been advised to be good ambassadors and stay away from drugs and social vices. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, gave the admonition while receiving students from selected schools in Abuja to the Senate chamber in Abuja. Our correspondent, Uyi Agbomofuegbe, has the details.
President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, who rejoiced with the children in Nigeria on the auspicious occasion, tasked them to stay away from drugs and other social vices that could put them and their future in danger, noting that they should remain good ambassadors of Nigeria in deed and character. He restated the commitment of the 10th National Assembly to protecting rights and privileges of Nigerian children through effective legislation, adding that the present administration of President Bola Tinubu would continue to prioritize their needs.
We commit ourselves to creating the enabling environment that will support your growth, support your education, and support your well-being. We pledge to prioritize policies and programs that protect your rights, that will promote your welfare and unlock the potentials within you.
The students' representative from the selected schools thanked the leadership of the National Assembly for the opportunity to observe plenary and appealed to the National Assembly to continue to give undivided attention to the needs of children across the country. Highlight of the occasion was the handshake with the Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, by all the children at plenary. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV.
The National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NACON, has frowned at the medical breach by Zamfara pilgrim who scaled pregnancy screening to the Holy Land and gave birth. The Commissioner of Planning, Research and Information of the Commission, Professor Abubakar Yagawa, stated this during an interview with newsmen in Medina. Yagawa said NACON would engage the state handlers to ensure diligence in screening pilgrims, particularly female, to safeguard their lives and that of the fetus. The Federal Capital Territory Administration is yet to unseal the national headquarters of the People's Democratic Party 48 hours after President Bola Tinubu ordered the reopening. It is reported that the PDP National Secretariat at Wadata Plaza in Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, around 11 a.m. on Wednesday, both entrances remained sealed, while staff members and private security personnel were seen loitering around the premises, unable to gain access to the building. It could be recalled that on Monday, the FCTA task force sealed several properties, including the PDP National Secretariat located in Wuse Zone 5, Abuja, over unpaid ground rents. The FCTA had earlier announced plans to repossess 4,794 properties revoked for defaulting on ground rent payments spanning 10 to 43 years, totaling 6.96 billion naira. The legal team representing Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan has raised the alarm over what it described as a disturbing pattern of selective justice following the federal government's decision to file criminal charges against her despite multiple unresolved petitions she lodged earlier this year. In a statement released by her counsel, Uju Nwodowo, the team outlined 12 petitions submitted by the senator between March and May 2025. According to the legal team, the petitions reported the detailed allegations containing also including cyber stalking, defamation, threats to life, and alleged assassination attempts, which none of these complaints have been acted upon by the Nigerian police force or any relevant security agency. The General Officer commanding 3 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Eyitayo Folusho Oyilola, says there is a dire need for military operations to leverage modern technology and advanced techniques to combat insecurity challenges in the country. This was revealed while he was addressing participants during the opening section of the Module 3 for 3 Division Operations Planning Cadel 2025 at 33 Itinerary Brigade of Shadawaka Barracks in Bauchi. Oyilola underscored the need to actively incorporate technological components, adding that operational planning Cadel Junior Commanders training for tactical operational level is aimed at shaping and refreshing their minds on their responsibilities and acquainting them with innovation, policies in the Nigerian Army and the Army Forces in general. Imo State First Lady highlights government education efforts, urges children to shun drugs and cultism as part of activities to mark this year's Children's Day. The First Lady of Imo State, Chioma Uzodinma, has hosted children to a colorful celebration at the Government House Banquet Hall in Owerri, the state capital. During the event, she highlighted the state government's commitments to education and child welfare while urging children to stay away from drugs and cultism. Our correspondent, Amarachi Ibe, reports.
Children's Day is celebrated every 27th of May in Nigeria to honor the rights, dreams, and well-being of children. It is a day set aside to recognize their potentials and to raise awareness on issues affecting their development and safety. This year's celebration in Imo State also serves as an opportunity to showcase the government's efforts in promoting education. The First Lady, Chioma Uzodinma, noted that several old schools across the state have been renovated, while new ones are under construction to enhance learning.
As we all know, the state government has approved and the renovation of schools in all the local governments and also building new schools in all the local governments. And I'm sure that before the end of the year, that these schools will be all done. And we know that even for the teachers, the state government has been paying the 13th month salary and making sure that salaries are paid as at when due, so that the teachers will be happy and teach the students too properly. So both students and teacher will be happy.
Beyond the celebration, the First Lady used the occasion to caution the children against drug abuse, cultism, and other harmful behaviors that could ruin their future.
So my advice to students is shun cultism. Do not take drugs. They do not help you. They destroy you. So please, when somebody walks up to you and says, let's take drugs or let's enter cult, tell them that Mamimo has said you should shun cultism and you should not take drugs.
The children and teachers expressed excitement and gratitude describing the celebration as memorable and inspiring.
Happy is that here is organized, the party is very organized, and I love the way that, I love all the games that they played here. I advise them to keep on doing well, and I wish them happy Children's Day.
Today is a very beautiful day for me, the best day ever in the world. I like today so much. Thank you very, very much. She's a very beautiful lady, and I would like to give her a clap.
Thank God for her for allowing the children to come and celebrate with her today. It's a thing of joy. I'm sure the children are also happy.
With music, games, appearance by mascot, and a message of hope, the event combined fun with strong moral guidance, reflecting the First Lady's passion for the well-being and future of Imo children. From Imo Government House, Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
President Tinubu endorses Ukachukwu Ekwenife, charges them to deliver victory in Anambra governorship race. President Bola Tinubu has declared his unwavering support for the APC gubernatorial candidate in Anambra State, Evangelist Nicholas Ukachukwu, and his running mate, Senator Uche Ekwenife, officially presenting the party flag to them at the State House in Abuja. In a symbolic ceremony, Tinubu charged the duo with a clear directive: go and get me Anambra, underscoring the administration's commitment to securing victory in the forthcoming elections. Our correspondent Uyi Agbomofuegbe reports.
President Bola Tinubu praised the APC's national and state leadership of Anambra State for successful primaries and expressed strong optimism about the party's chances, highlighting Senator Ekwenife as an exemplary running mate. The president assured the candidates of full support throughout their campaign, emphasizing that while the party is supreme, victory is paramount.
So we're coming with that momentum, and when the president visited, he saw the enormous crowd that came to his party people that were so happy, whether from morning till the time he left, with so much enthusiasm, with so much joy and happiness. When you see your party member, you know, and the president acknowledged that, and I just go and bring Anambra to center. And that's what we're going to do.
With the APC flag now in their hands and the backing of the highest office, Ukachukwu and Ekwenife are set to lead a high-stakes campaign energized by President Tinubu's endorsements and a unified party structure behind them. Uyi Agbomofuegbe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Chief Executive Officer of the Southeast Development Commission, SEDC, Mark Okoye, provided President Bola Tinubu with an update on the Commission's 100-day progress report. Following a high-level meeting at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, Okoye addressed the press. Sharon Ajay has the details.
Highlighting the strides made since the Commission's inception, Chief Executive Officer of the Southeast Development Commission, Mark Okoye II, emphasized SEDC's dedication to transforming President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda into concrete developmental outcomes for Nigeria's Southeast region. Describing the meeting as both productive and forward-looking, Okoye underscores the president's renewed commitment to fast-tracking the region's growth and development.
We've been in office for about 104 days, given that we were inaugurated on February 11th this year. And in that time, this was really a briefing for me to give him an update on what we've done and what we've been able to achieve in the last 100 days. And it spent about 25 minutes of those really taking him through the strategic vision, what we intend to achieve as an organization, how we intend to mainstream the Renewed Hope agenda.
He further revealed that SEDC is targeting the creation of a $200 billion regional economy by 2035, aiming to make a substantial contribution to Nigerians' broader economic advancement.
We have broadly around 7 to 8 major programs. One of them is the Southeast Security Intervention Program, where we'll be working closely with the host governments to see how we can support for a more secure Southeast, because only when there's improved security, then you can start layering on development and investment and economic opportunities for the young people. The second is which Mr. President quite liked a lot, was the agro development program, where we aim to develop over 50,000 hectares of land over the next 4 years.
Expressing his gratitude for the confidence placed in him by President Tinubu, Okoye reiterated the Commission's pledge to prioritizing measurable results, transparency, and active public engagement. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
In business, Nigeria's public debt is set for another significant jump as President Bola Tinubu has requested the National Assembly approval to secure fresh foreign loans amounting to about $24.14 billion. At the prevailing official exchange rate of 1,583.74 naira per dollar, the proposed borrowing would add approximately 38.24 trillion naira to the existing debt stock, potentially pushing Nigeria's total public debt from 144.67 trillion naira to the end of 2024 to over 182.91 trillion naira by 2026. The fresh borrowing is composed of $21.54 billion, 2.19 billion euro, and also 15 billion euro, using the latest market exchange rate at $1 to $1 to $1, 1.6381, and one also 0.0068, and euro components converts to approximately $2.5 billion, while the Japanese yen translates to $102 million. Consumer confidence in the United States improved significantly in May, following a truce in the ongoing trade war between Washington and Beijing. This marks a positive tone after 5 consecutive months of declining sentiment. The Conference Board, a global economic research group, reported that its consumer confidence index rose by 12.3 points to reach 98.0 in May. This figure exceeded economists' expectation, who had predicted a more modest increase to 87.0. The report added that about half of the survey responses were collected after May 12, when the White House announced a temporary seal to reduce tariff on Chinese imports from 145% to 30% for 90 days. And on the foreign scene, Donald Trump, President of the United States, says if Canada could join its proposed Golden Dome missile defense system for free, but only if it becomes part of the United States. He said it would cost Canada $61 billion to be part of the system, who has repeatedly called for the United States' northern neighbors to become the 51st state. Canada has expressed interest in joining the missile system plans, for which Trump unveiled last week to defend against a wide array of army weapons, but has firmly rejected any loss of sovereignty. Thousands of Palestinians have overrun an aid distribution site in Gaza set up by a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group a day after it began working there. The group said that at one point its team fell back because the numbers seeking aid were so great. The Israeli military said troops nearby fired warning shots. The GHF, which uses armed American security contractors, aims to bypass the UN as the main supplier of aid in Gaza, where experts have warned of a looming famine after an 11-week Israeli blockade that was recently eased. Videos showed crowds working over torn-down fences and earth burns at the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation's GHF compound in the southern city of Rafah. In a related scene, the UN Human Rights Office says 47 people were injured in Gaza when crowd overwhelmed an aid distribution center run by a controversial new group backed by the US and Israel. A senior official said UN was still gathering information, but that most of the injuries were due to the gunshot and it was shooting from the Israel Defense Forces. The Defense Force stated this. It was shaking the report. A spokesperson said the troops fired warning shots into the air in the area outside the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation site in the southern part of the town. Now in sports, athletes representing host Ogun State at the 22nd National Sport Festival left other athletes and officials stranded at the Games Village at Babcock University as they protested the non-payment of their allowances with 2 days to the end of the Gateway Games 2024. In videos and pictures circulated by officials at the Games Village, buses conveying athletes to different venues of events were stranded as athletes in Ogun tracksuit were seen blocking the gates. It was said that the situation began as early as 5:30 a.m. And that's it on the news on Global TV. And just before we let you go, let's give you a recap of the news prime. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on leaders of the economic and community of West African states to match bold policy declaration with decisive implementation, stressing that the regional bloc must begin delivering tangible results, especially for youth and women, who form the majority of its population. Saudi Arabia has announced the sighting of the crescent moon marking the start of Dhul Hijjah, the 12th and final month of the Islamic lunar calendar. And in business, Nigerian public debt is set for another significant jump as President Bola Tinubu has requested the National Assembly's approval to secure fresh foreign loans amounting to about $24.14 billion. And on the foreign scene, President Donald Trump says if Canada can join his proposed Golden Dome missile defense system for free, but only if it becomes part of the United States. And in sports, athletes representing host Ogun State at the 22nd National Sport Festival left other athletes and officials stranded at the Games Village at Babcock University as they protested the non-payment of their allowances with 2 days to the end of the Gateway Games 2024. And that's it on Global TV News Prime. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across all our social media platforms that are showing on your screen.